From the Detroit Free Press, in the heart of the Motor City, it's Friday, January 24th. Here are today's top stories. Brought to you by JB's Smokehouse, located inside Bush's Fresh Food Market of Canton. JB's offers a range of authentic barbecue favorites, and with more than 30 Michigan craft beers on tap, trivia, and live music every Friday night, JB's is sure to become your new favorite barbecue spot.
Hi, this is Kathleen Gray, and I cover state and national politics for the Detroit Free Press. Michigan's presidential primary election may be 7 weeks away, but campaigns are gearing up for the March 10th vote. Thousands of volunteers are making calls, knocking on doors, and gathering in homes across the state to work for their favorite candidates. Some campaigns are more aggressive than others. Former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg has already spent $6.6 million on television advertising. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren opened the first presidential campaign office in Michigan in December, and thousands of volunteers are still feeling the burn for U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. And President Donald Trump, despite little competition for Republican primary voters, is still focused on Michigan.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Susan Tompor. Tax season officially kicks off on Monday, January 27th. But it's not too early to start worrying about tax-related fraud. The IRS stopped nearly 600,000 tax returns filed by identity thieves claiming $6 billion in tax refunds in 2017 alone. The crooks want your personal information, including your Social Security number, to file a fraudulent tax return that looks legitimate enough to get the IRS to send a big tax refund to the crooks instead of you. One big red flag here: when you file your tax return, the IRS would reject your return and not accept it. A con artist using your Social Security number would have already filed a return. Don't fall for phishing scams or robocalls that can try to trick you into handing over even more personal information.
I'm Teresa Baldus with the Detroit Free Press. It's a racial discrimination case that sparked national attention. An African-American man in Detroit says TCF Bank humiliated him by calling the police on him while he was trying to deposit some checks. The checks were part of a racial discrimination lawsuit settlement. The bank said the checks appeared suspicious, so they called the police and refused to deposit the checks. But the checks were legitimate, and now the customer is suing TCF Bank, saying they mistreated him because of the color of his skin. TCF has apologized, saying it should not have called the police. The man is happy for the apology, but his lawsuit is still pending, and it's on its way to federal court. For more on this story, visit freep.com.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Meredith Spellbring. Andy Graves still vividly remembers the scene of Flight 255 crash on August 16, 1987, that left 156 passengers dead. He still remembers walking onto the scene as a first responder and hoping there was someone he could help save. It was not until the following day he learned of 4-year-old Cecilia Sheehan's survival when he picked up a copy of the Detroit Free Press. It was that exact same paper that featured a front-page photo of him on the scene of the crash. Graves would go visit the scene of the crash in the years that followed, but it took him 20 years before he could get himself to go to the annual memorial service. Shortly after the 2019 memorial, Graves decided to pick up a project he dropped in 2003 and captured his experiences in a song.
And just with that, energy coming from the memorial and having her voice, literally as I was writing the chords, I could hear Mindy singing it. That's where August Rain was born.
Graves shared his experiences with his bandmate Mindy Odom before asking her if she would sing the lyrics to his song.
I listened and I immediately felt an emotional connection to the song and to Andy's journey, and I cried when he told me the story because I could tell where it was coming from.
In the August rain.
The two first stepped into the studio to record on September 17, 2019, before releasing the song on most streaming services on January 20th, 2020.
This is so much bigger than us, and we have to really pour ourselves into this to make it as absolutely perfect as we can to communicate a message of loss, a message of grief, but also later in the song, a message of healing and hope and faith.
For more of Andy's story and his music with singer Mindy Odom, head to freep.com.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department and an update on the Red Wings. We have mercifully hit the All-Star break for the Wings, who have won just 12 of their 51 games this season. The lone All-Star for the Red Wings is Tyler Bertuzzi. He's certainly not the biggest or the fastest on the ice, but he has developed a nice little scoring touch, leading Detroit with 17 goals and 36 points this year. Helena St. James took a deeper look at where Bertuzzi fits in the Wings' rebuild plan and asked him what he needs to work on to become a more complete player.
I think just be better in the D zone. Be a lot better in the D zone, and then we'll be able to play in the O zone more. Just be more consistent on a nightly basis.
It's something to chew on as you watch Bertuzzi in tonight's skills competition and Saturday night's All-Star Game from St. Louis.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. And sign up for the Daily Briefing newsletter.